Hi, everybody. This is Gary Dean, and this is our nightly video report for Wednesday, February 22nd, 2017. I'm getting this out about 15 minutes before the market is closing. I really don't think a whole lot's going to be going on. We could get a pop tomorrow just because this kind of looks like we're consolidating a little bit. But I also believe if we do get that pop, that it's going to reverse back to the downside. So say they try to gap it up tomorrow, I think that it will take one of those type things where when it gaps up and then comes and goes below that gap, that will take place on that. And I do believe that we could see some selling pressure. Now, what are my reasons for it? Well, one is the Dow's going on 9 straight days in a row that it's been up. And whenever you get into that consecutive amount of days, it's more just a time thing that you're going to get a break. And the fact that it's gone up almost 1,000 points with nothing more than a 75-point pullback. If it is going to have any kind of down day, it could be a little bit exaggerated, and I do think it is coming sooner rather than later. Now, is this the big one? No, I don't think so. I'd mentioned it last night where, the size of the move that we've had, they got to start that whole topping process back over again. And what that means is when we get the drop, they're going to probably find support someplace at a moving average, whether it be, the 50-day, this is an hourly chart, either the 50 or the 200-day. But what happens is they bid it back up and either make a very, very shallow new high or fail to take out the high. And what happens is they make that rounded top, because we know that tops are rounded and the lows are V-shaped. So we have to start that process all over again. I thought we were here when we were kind of making that rounded top. It looked like it. I was anticipating a bounce after this, and instead it turned into a melt up. So we have to start that whole topping process back over, and it may take a couple weeks for it to play out on that. But what will happen is we're going to make a top before the actual whole topping process starts. So what I mean by that is, let's say that yesterday was the high. We could pull back, come back up, and not make a new high, but what's going to happen is we don't break down. So it's going to feel like we're just hanging out up here, but the top may be in, some 10 days, 2 weeks before we actually break down. But what happens is we get this type of move just up and down and we go nowhere. Or it could be a little bit quicker because this really was that the consolidation period, and we have been going since November 11th, I believe, is when we started this whole thing, and we really haven't had much of a breather. So this may be a little quicker as far as the topping process, but it's still going to be one of those things where we come down and let's say we get to, let's move to a 15-minute. Let's say we get down to the 23.45, pop back up, don't make a new high, come back down, and then say find support at the 23% retracement, which is the 2300. Come back up again. So it's going to be one of those things where it's going to turn into like a jumping bean. And like I said, we may have topped yesterday. Maybe they need a little, a pop up tomorrow. But I believe that from the way that things are trading and really the amount of pressure that the Dow has been showing on the buy side, that you're going to get buyer's exhaustion soon. And 9 straight days, and like I said, it's been, I think, 1,000 points with nothing more on a closing basis than a 50-point pullback. So they do become exaggerated, and the Dow's pretty much what's held everything up today. So if they all start heading down together, we could get one of those nasty days. Obviously, nothing is guaranteed, but it would make perfect sense if something like that happened. So yes, tomorrow I wouldn't be surprised to see a down day, and actually it could be a down day, but it's not going to be the start of the big move that I'm anticipating. That's going to take a little bit more of a topping process before everything plays out. So right now, first target 23.45 would make perfect sense. That's where I would anticipate they find some buyers and then kind of come up and test it. If they lose that, Then they also have support down at the 2339. But if that gets lost, that's when we start looking at, maybe closing this gap here at the 2318. Bearish divergences overbought, really no need going through all that. Same wave count, nothing's really changed on that. This wave 5 could be complete at any point here because we got above this wave 3. So, like I said, it's one of those things that, yes, we could, kind of head higher on it, but the risk is that the high is in and we're going to have a drop. And what happens is you get some bulls that are kind of trapped. But again, 2343, I think, is what the bears really need to get through, because it's a 23% retracement. It's a 200-day moving average on the 15-minute chart, and we also have support. So if they lose that, that's when we're probably coming down to this 2318, 2320 area. And then if they lose that, that's when we could see things picking up. But like I said, I think just the fact that we're here right now, we've made 5 waves. I think the long side is dangerous, because once they do pull out the rug and they don't have one of the indexes holding things up, it could get ugly real fast. But again, it will probably be bid back up and we'll test these highs again. So with that, that's really about all I have for tonight. So have a great night, and I'll talk to you guys tomorrow.